take one more time. Missy way boo boo me borche. Wa mama family who di. Found any day. Wa mama yo mi bo. Found free kwasu. Ma this year do do. Me ya bo. Sama somebody lift up your voice. Sing with me, come on, sing. Lift up your voice and sing.
Good morning, good evening, good night, good afternoon. God bless you and keep you and protect you. It's a blessed morning over here in Ghana. It is exactly 6:40 a.m. GMT. This is Papalo Radio. We're streaming live on www.multighana.com, onlineradiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the broadcast on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. Tell your friends it's time for Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papa Law Perfect. I'm going to be with you from now till 10 a.m. The best is yet to come. Stick and stay right here. Today we have a lot for you. We have a lot on the table. We're going to inform you, entertain you, and educate you. The best is yet to come. What a blessed morning. Lift up your voice and praise the name of the Lord. David said, I was glad when they said unto me, let us go into the house of the Lord. In his presence there is fullness of joy, at his right hand there are pleasures forevermore. What a mighty God we serve. Fingers crossed. Lord, have mercy upon us. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from every evil. For thine is thy kingdom, the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen and amen. Forever, O God, thy word is settled in heaven. The word of God will settle every dichotomy in your life today. Just get connected to your source. Once you are connected to your source, you have a lot of resources. May God touch you. All right, show produced by Jude GH. I have a great team here. Santos is also here. David Santos. Great inspiration to our generation. All right, so our reporter will also go on the grounds, or Hineba Kofi Prince, and he will give us details what is happening in our market square. I like the fact that our market women understand economics more than the so-called PhD holders. All right, so I'll be speaking with Dr. Brefo Apo Leslie. It's in Koforidia. I'll be speaking with him, and then I'll also be having another interview with this great youth advocate. In fact, he developed and empowers the youth and sends them across the globe to make impact. So I'll be speaking with Dr. John Appiah. These are men I know. I can lay my hands on the clock and say these are great intellectuals, men with great minds. I'll be speaking with them, and so I'll do Mpɔtam morning show without politics. So this week, the National Democratic Congress, the NDC, is going into elections. We want to look at their presidential elections and then their parliamentary elections. Who is going to fall? The axe will be laid to the roots of some of the old member of parliament. Hey, what a shocker. I am seeing a fine gentleman trying to massage his way into the heart of the delegates to win their heart and unseat the indefatigable Sam George. Is it going to be possible? Sam George is saying it's not about experiment, but it's about experience. And I asked Sam George, were you having experience before you unseated how do you call this man, E.T. Mensah, the Mugabe at the time, who had been in parliament for 20-something years? Che Mensah is also not going again. I like that. I mean, in politics, when the applause is loud, that is when you have to say bye-bye. All right, so it's going to be fun. I'll be teaching you, I'll be imparting you, I'll be informing you. But before that, God first in all your dealings. God first. All right, I salute all the lecturers and wicked invigilators at Natford University. Hey, sometimes some of these invigilators, they were on our necks. By God's grace, we are done with our semester exams. God bless everybody. I love Natford to the core. All right, so I'll go for a short commercial break and I'll be right back. Today is going to be off, and I'll also be speaking with a great woman, Lady May, who is also a travel agent. I'll be speaking with her, and she will tell us more about the need to go through proper documentation before you travel out of the shores of Ghana. So stay right here. The name remains Papa Law Perfect. The show is Mpɔtam Morning Show on Papa Law Radio. We are the navigators of the airwaves. Stay right here. I'll be right back.
I take one more time. Missy way boo boo me born. Wow, mama family who ati found any day. Wow, mama ya we mo found free kwasum. Marisi adu drui me ya bo sama kwebio.
Rabdu Zabdu Sataya. Rubabdu Katikataya. I am fired up this morning. What a gracious God we serve. Life without God is like fish living without water. You can die so soon. I want you to get connected to God. With God, all things are possible, according to Luke chapter number 1, the verse number 37. Have you said thank you to God? If you have not done so, go ahead and do so. Go ahead and praise the name of the Lord. The best is yet to come. Welcome to Mpɔtam Morning Show with Papa Law Perfect. Santos, how are you doing?
By grace, I'm doing well.
By grace, you are doing well.
Yes.
Today we have a lot on the table.
Exactly.
And we're going to do justice to it. Can you put on your microphone? I think your microphone.
Okay.
Yes. I think it's on now.
Okay.
So today we're going to have a lot of these resource men. We have two doctors. One doctor in books. He knows book like something. Dr. John Appiah. And he's a proud Pujoba. That's my roots. I'm proud to be a Pujoba. That is Pope John Old Boy Association. You can't attend Pope John Secondary School and fail in life, because our motto is set sail, Vela Damus, Kanamindie. Alright, so that was Santos. We'll be doing justice to some of these stories that are making headlines. Very soon we'll zoom straight into some of the items in regular newspapers. But for now, let's thank God and appreciate the kindness and the goodness of the Lord. What is your testimony? I want you to do some thanksgiving to God, and your attestation will determine how far you go in life. I have a very powerful quote I want to share with the general public. In all your dealings, Bible said, get wisdom. But you are not asking for too much. You are not asking for too much. You are just asking the wrong people. You are not asking for too much. You are just asking for the wrong people. It means that some of us are asking for help from wrong people. In fact, there are people who love you to the core, but you don't actually know who loves you and who does not. But when you are asking from wrong people, they see it, you and your request as a burden. But when you ask from the right people, they don't see it as a burden. They just come out of their heart and then be a blessing to you. You're taking this one.
Yeah. Very good morning to each and everyone watching us, wherever you find yourself.
I'm struggling to hear your voice.
Okay. I think now you can hear my voice.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks to each and everyone joining us live on Facebook. This morning we greet you. Papa, it's true. The quote has a deep meaning. And if you come to reality,
that's right,
you can see that what you are saying is very true.
That's right.
Sometimes when you are asking from people who don't normally loves you, it is very difficult for them to give it to you.
That's right.
Or attend to you. But those who love you, sometimes then themselves, when they see you, they know that something is wrong with you.
That's right.
So then themselves, they move to you to ask you
what you need.
What you need.
That's perfect.
Yes.
You got that right. Because there are times when you ask from the wrong people, they see you as an opportunist. They have different mindsets concerning you. So it's in the right direction.
Yeah.
So today I want our viewers, our listeners across the globe, especially those in Ghana, to know that you are not asking too much. Sometimes you need to ask. Even the Bible stipulates, according to Matthew 7, and then the 8, he said, ask and it shall be given, seek you shall find, knock and it shall be opened. He who asketh, I love the verse 8, he who asketh receiveth, and he who seeketh findeth, and then he who knocketh, the door shall be opened unto that person. So I also see asking from another dimension or dimension. It's a source of pride when you know you are in need and you don't ask.
Really?
Yes. It's arrogance and pride for you not to ask when you are in need.
But Papa, this is me.
You need help. Why are you not asking? Because you are too egoistic. You have to come out of your shells. You feel too big to ask. Even the sea is looking for more.
Yeah, sure. But Papa, this is me. I don't think I'm arrogant, but then I find it difficult to ask whenever I'm in need.
You find it difficult to ask because you are arrogant. It's simple. Why are you not asking?
Yeah, because
you think you are too much to ask. You know that what we are saying is the reality.
no, but it shouldn't be like when you are finding it too difficult to ask. It means you are arrogant.
I'm saying that on a larger score.
Okay.
There are people who find it so difficult looking at their status. They are looking at their name. Supposedly somebody used to be a millionaire and now is run into debt or has come from hero to zero. He has nothing. All right?
Okay.
I've seen it many times where the rich becomes poor and the poor becomes rich. That's why Bible says that let the poor say I am rich and let the weak say I am strong. You understand? So time and chances. The battle is not to the strong, the race is not to the swift, food is not to the learned or the intelligent, but time and chances will equally happen to all of us. So at one point you must be a beggar, and at one point you must be a giver. Simple. All right, so that is the quote for the day. You are asking from the wrong people. That is why they see it as a burden. So ask from the right source. So somebody will be asking, how do I know this is the right source? Those who genuinely shows you love. They are the right people you can ask from. Because sometimes there is another side of this discussion.
Okay.
There are people to when you ask from them, in the future you are in trouble. They will tell the whole world that I gave him this, I gave her this, I am the one who did this for him, I am the one who did that for her. That complicates the whole agenda of people asking and receiving. But God is a God, when you ask, he will not use it against you. He will only draw your attention to the fact that you were nobody and today I've made you somebody. So when people ask me, who are you? I said, I am nobody trying to become somebody by God's grace. All right, so this is Mpɔtam Morning Show. The host is Papa Law Perfect. Show produced by Jude GH. I'm going for a quick break and I'll be right back.
I take one more time. Missy way boo boo me borche. Wa mama family who ati. Found any day. Wa mama nyawo mi mo. Found free kwasu. Me nyawo. Sama kwebio.
right, Dada Meyawodi, what a gracious God we serve. Stick and stay right here. The best is yet to come. We are here to inform you, educate you, and entertain you. This is Mpɔtam Morning Show. We're streaming live on www.mortingghana.com, onlineradiobox.com. I want you to hit the share button, share the broadcast on your page or your timeline. Send the link to your friends. Tell your friends it's time for Mpɔtam Morning Drive or show. Whether show or drive, we are driving you to your destination this morning. It's going to be fun. The National Democratic Congress is going into elections this Saturday, and we have a lot to discuss. Somebody may ask, why are you doing a retrospection about the NDC? In politics, the opposition, the strong or the biggest opposition party happens to be the government in waiting, and we can't just overlook this great party who had been in government for many years, comparing the years NDC has spent in office. Nobody come close to, apart from the MPP. So we'll do a profile about the NDC giving birth to great politicians like former President John Dramani Mahama. So today we'll be telling you more about the National Democratic Congress, and then we'll profile former President John Dramani Mahama. And when we are done, we'll speak with one of the secretaries of the NDC, Medina constituency, their secretary, Abdul Razak. We'll put him on the line and speak with him, take his view, his thoughts about the upcoming parliamentary and presidential elections. And it's going to be tough. I know a lot of them are gearing up for the tax ahead. It is not easy. But at the end of the day, one is going to be a winner.
Sure.
Being part of the race alone in such a great party is even a form of success. If you even lose the election, you are successful in politics because NDC has the man. Interestingly or coincidentally, both parties, MPP and NDC, now when they are speaking or when they are talking, they call the shot, and they are always sending tantrums and shots being fired left, right, center, saying we have the men. We'll show them we have the men. So it's showtime. So it's interesting.
We have the men.
How do you see it from your own perspective? It's going to be tough.
Yes.
And it's a very critical moment for the NDC. It's either break or make.
That is what I'm thinking about it right now. Because if you look at the men too that they are also having,
they are parading.
Yes, it's going to be tough, as you said.
Yeah.
But as you said to us, well, if you have the chance to be in that category, the success is yours already.
Okay.
Because when it comes to politics, your face also matters.
That's right.
And then we can also add famous.
You can't be a good politician without being a good strategist.
Thank you.
They are very strategic. It will interest you to know that all these political parties gearing up to the 2024 elections will come like saints, and afterwards they will look like demons before the people. So
that's what we always experience in the country. So
all right.
Yes.
So it's 7 a.m. GMT in the studios of Papalo Radio. The program is Mpɔtam Morning Show, community morning show. Mpɔtam simply means community. The Americans will say community morning show. The name remains Papalo Perfect. Show produced by Jude GH. All right, so a brief history about the National Democratic Congress, the NDC. The National Democratic Congress is a social democratic political party in Ghana, founded by Jerry John Rawlings, who was the head of state of Ghana from 1981 to 1993 as a military leader, and the president of Ghana from 1993 to 2001, following the formation of the Provisional National Defense Council, that is the PNDC. So NDC happens to be the offshoot of the PNDC, which ruled Ghana following the military coup d'etat on 31st December 1981. Some of you were not yet born, the Indomie generation. There was pressure from the international community to restore democracy. The NDC was formed as the ruling party ahead of elections in 1992 or 1992. The Americans are here, in which Rawlings was elected president, and in 1996, Rawlings was re-elected as the NDC candidate. Rawlings' second term ended in 2001 when President John Agyekum Kufuor, the days of the Johns, when President John Agyekum Kufuor also took over the reins of government. The NDC lost the presidency in the 2000 election, and it was not until a 2008 election that they regained it with John Evans Atta Mills as its candidate. They established the 1992 Constitution of Ghana. The NDC party symbol is an umbrella with the head of a dove or a dove at the tip. The party colors are red, white, green, and black, and the party slogan or motto is unity, stability, and development. Ejobodo, eyezu, eyeza. And internationally, the NDC is a member of the Progressive Alliance and Socialist International. So they are the socialists. They claim to be the socialists. And then I think the MPP claim to be the capitalists. All right, history. The National Democratic Congress was founded by Jerry John Rawlings, who had been the military leader of Ghana since 1981. And in 1992, the National Democratic Congress led a successful transition to multi-party competition, an example of authoritarian-led democratization. The NDC won the 1992 and 1996 elections. Interestingly, in 1992 elections, the MPP boycotted parliament. So you can imagine the government in parliament at the same time. They were in government, and at the same time they were the only legislators who were legislating laws into fruition. Yeah, so 2000 elections. The 2000 election was the first presidential election since 1992 that an incumbent president was not on the ballot. Jerry Rawlings' 8-year tenure had expired as per the Constitution of Ghana. John Atta Mills became the presidential candidate of the National Democratic Congress at a special delegate congress held in Ho in the Volta region of Ghana. NDC is the Volta region still your stronghold, as you used to confess. Let's see how it goes, because gradually you look like the feeling I used to know from 1992 till 2012. I think you have lowered the euphoria in the Volta region. So if you really want to make a great impact, then you must revisit your roots. The Volta region is the soul and spirit of the NDC. All right, it was popularly acclaimed. He was popularly acclaimed the presidential candidate of the party for 2000 presidential election. Vice President John Atta Mills lost in 2000 to New Patriotic Party's John Kufuor after 2 rounds of voting. 2004 elections. The 2004 elections, the party's manifesto called for a better Ghana. John Atta Mills ran again for the NDC in the 2000 presidential elections with its running mate Alhaji Mahmoud Mumuni. He won 44.6% of the vote. but lost to the New Patriotic Party. In the general elections held on 7th December 2004, the party won only 94 out of the 230 seats. That's amazing. All right, so 2008 elections on 21st December 2006, a very, very intriguing history was in the 2008 elections when everybody thought Akufo-Addo, now the president of Ghana, will win hands down. But it was so tough that Tain had to decide with few votes, 90,000 votes, to make Professor John Evans Atta Mills the president. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Interestingly, we shared the same birthday on the same day, 21st July.
You?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was a very good friend. I had his personal number. We used to pray together and all that. He was a great man, very humble, down to earth.
That's great.
Yes, yes. Prior to the 2008 election, the Lord gave me a message and I had to find ways and means. I always say that somebody knows me. So if you are looking for my number, it's possible you can get it. So I got it through a friend. I just spoke about it. I said I had a dream, I had a vision about this man. The Lord said He give him the throne. So he shouldn't trust in any other forces and concentrate on him. He will give him the seat. And it happened. So may his soul rest in peace. So let's go to the 2008 elections. On 21st December 2006, Mills was overwhelmingly elected by the NDC as its candidate for the 2000 presidential election with a majority of 81.4% or 1,362 votes. Eko Spiogabra, is he alive? Is he around? Wow, it's been a while. Was second with 8.7%, represented 146 votes. Ahaji Mahama Idrisu was third with 8.2%, represented 137 votes. And Edianan was fourth with 1.7%, represented 28 votes. In April 2008, John Mahama was chosen as the party's vice presidential candidate. On 3rd January 2009, Mills was certified as the victor of the 28 December 2008 runoff election and became the next president of Ghana. 2012, transfer of power in elections. President John Atta Mills died after a short illness in the afternoon of 24th July 2012. While still in office, Vice President John Dramani Mahama of the NDC was sworn in as a president that evening. So President Mahama went to the office in the morning as a vice president. On his way home, he was a president. Amazing. That is life. Life is a mystery. The NDC picked John Mahama for their presidential candidate and sitting Vice President Pakwesi Misata as their vice presidential candidate for the 2012 elections. In November 2015, after securing an overwhelming 1,199.118 out of a total of let me take it again. In November 2015, after securing an overwhelming 1,199.118 million votes out of 1.286728 votes, representing 95.10% party members in the presidential primaries. President John Dramani Mahama was endorsed to lead the party in 2016 elections. I'll leave it here and profile a man Ghanaians revere so much, who had been an assembly member, rose to become MP thrice in Parliament for Bole Bamboy constituency, rose to become the Deputy Minister of Communication, became the substantive Minister for Communication, rose to become the Vice President of Ghana, finish the term of his predecessor, John Evans Atamio's term, 4-year term. He had to finish from July to December until we voted for him to become president of this republic. So he's one politician who has a rich, I think the whole world, I've never seen one before, somebody who rose from an assembly member of parliament, deputy minister, substantive minister, vice president, president. Oh my God. All right, so very soon I'll be profiling this great man. His Excellency, former President John Dramani Mahama, the Bolly Boy Royal. All right, so we wish the NDC well in the upcoming presidential and parliamentary election. Okay, so I want you to hit the share button, share the message on your page, on your timeline, send the link to your friends. Tell your friends it's time to know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. The truth is only happening right here. Apart from Papalo Radio, there is nowhere you get the truth. Here we inform, we entertain, we educate. Alright, so let me profile this man, John Dramani Mahama, born on the 29th of November 1958. He's a Ghanaian politician who served as president of Ghana from 24 July 2012 to 7th January 2017. Previously served as vice president of Ghana from January 2009 to July 2012, and took office as president on 24 July 2012 following the death of his predecessor John Evans Fifi Atamils. Mahama is a communication expert, historian, and a writer, a member of the National Democratic Congress. He was member of parliament for Bolly Bamboy from 1997 to 2009 and served as deputy minister for communication between 1999 and 1998 before becoming the substantive minister for communications from 1998 to 2001, January 2001. John Dramani Mahama is the first vice president to take over the presidency from the death of his predecessor John Evans Atamils, and is the first head of state of Ghana who have been born after Ghana's independence. So gone are the days when politicians were presidential candidates were campaigning based on age. I remember vividly when former President John Mahama was saying, I am the youngest, vote for me, because I am the only one who was born before colonization. I am for the youth. You remember?
Yes, I remember.
Yes, so
exactly.
I remember vividly.
Yeah.
It's still new in my mind. All right, so he was elected after the December 2012 election to serve as full-time president. He contested re-election for a second term in the 2016 election, but lost to the New Patriotic Party candidate Nana Addo Akufo-Addo in 2012. This made him the first president in the history of Ghana who never won a second term. All right, so looking at Jerry John Rawlings, that is after military rule. After Jerry John Rawlings, Kufuor, and I think he was the only president per history who never had a second term. All right, so his early years. A member of the Gonja ethnic group in the Savannah region of Ghana, Mahama hails from Bolly in the Savannah region. Mahama was born in Damango in the Damango-Daboya constituency of Northern region into a political tradition dating back to the country's first republic. His father, Emmanuel Adama Mahama, a wealthy rice farmer and teacher, was the first member of parliament for the West Gonja constituency and the first regional commissioner of the Northern region during the First Republic under Ghana's first president, Kwame Nkrumah. Mahama's father also served as a senior presidential advisor during Ghana's Third Republic under Hila Liman, who was overthrown in 1981 by Jerry John Rawlings. Mahama had his primary education at the Accra Newtown Experimental School before going to boarding school at Achimota Primary School. He completed secondary school at Ghana National School, Tamale, Northern Region. He proceeded to the University of Ghana, Legon, receiving a bachelor's degree in history in 1981 and a postgraduate diploma in communication studies in 1986. As a student, he was a member of Commonwealth Hall, Legon. He also studied at the Institute of Social Sciences in Moscow in Soviet Union, specializing in social psychology. He obtained a postgraduate in 1988. Early career. After completing his undergraduate education, Mahama taught history at the secondary school level for a few years. For his return to Ghana, after studying in Moscow, he worked as the information culture and research officer at the Embassy of Japan in Accra between 1991 and 1995. From there, he moved to the anti-poverty non-governmental organization, NGO, Plan International Ghana Country Office, where he worked as international relations, sponsorship, communications, and grant manager between 1995 and 1996. In 1993, he participated in a professional training course for overseas public relations staff organized by the Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Tokyo. He also participated in a management development course organized by Plan International RISA in Nairobi, Kenya. Mahama was first elected to the Parliament of Ghana in the 1996 elections to represent the Bole Bamboy constituency for a 4-year term. In April 1997, Mahama was appointed Deputy Minister of Communications. He was promoted to the post of Minister for Communications in November 1998, serving in that post until January 2001, when the ruling National Democratic Congress handed over power to the New Patriotic Party's government. In 2000, Mahama was re-elected for another 4-year term as the Member of Parliament for the Bole Bamboy constituency. He was again re-elected in 2004 for a third term. From 2001 to 2004, Mahama served as the minority parliamentary spokesman for communications. In 2002, he was appointed the Director of Communications for the NDC. That same year, he served as a member of the team of international observers selected to monitor Zimbabwe's parliamentary elections. As an MP, he was a member of a Standing Orders Committee, as well as the Transport Industry, Energy, Communication, Science and Technology of Parliament. So I'll leave it here and take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
At time, the United States of Africa is what they don't want to see, but that's the only way my people can survive. They divide and conquer with just a brown paper bag. I'm with the cash, I bet on your price, and I will check the money and not the money machine. They say they want to invest, on my women with the clean. And got people to India, but they be claiming supreme. Every time of Martin Luther King, we still have a dream. The voodoo magic, it's nothing evil. I could see Bruni, you see, claim me say your logic. About the knowledge, baby, before people lucky. You try and truck or find evidence to back it, and you're like it, stop it. I'm with electronics, yeah, but on the atomic, claiming technology. They just be stuck in the pocket, but it's not physical power. They use the supernatural energy for profit. How the are we able to talk on the phone? How the are we able to fly and control a drone? How the now if I'm crying to me and the clone, keep it a honey. Mean you're not on your own. It's time for my people to wake up. My mind is made up. When are you friendly? You looking out for your neighbor? Mr. Preacher, please can you do me a favor? Yeah, me use the microphone since that they always a hater. Martin Luther King flow. We're trying to develop, but the progress is being slow. They lock the door, now we're sneaking out the window. They don't want us to get access to the info. The enemy keep on suppressing. We need some answers, we're trying to figure out some questions. A rich pattern, and we're facing depression. The strippers again and trying to take our possessions, and now we're facing recession. be original, done dada. But everything that we do has been done dada. All you gold, cool, minerals proper. In the land of so much, I was there hunger. To fix this mess, that be the hunger. Like a label into my building from ground up. Fist up, middle finger to all the kickbacks leaders. Just one chop them for sit back. Skin black, but it's your mind too. If fear must I remind you of the blood and toil that is behind you. How did we get here? Let me share. February 24th, 66. In Kuma was surrounded by these bricks, and it makes me sick. We've been brainwashed. All sorts of imports, even at toothpicks. Money come, money go. We don't make a show, so when we spend.
All right, so welcome back. This is Mpɔtam Morning Show on Papalo Radio. My name is Papalo Perfect. We're streaming live on www.modernghana.com, online radiobox.com. I told you that the NDC is going into elections to elect their presidential candidates and their member of parliament for the next 4 years. I have done a profile on former President John Dramani Mahama, and I have on the line to speak to the issue this great man I have known. Personally, I know him. We've sat on the same couch to discuss the way forward for this great nation called Ghana. He's the secretary of the NDC, Medina constituency. We have on the line Honorable Razak Abdul, the secretary for Medina constituency. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning, Apostle.
How are you doing?
By Allah's grace, I'm doing well. And I hope same with you and your crew inside the studio.
We are bouncing very well by God's grace. We are doing very well by His grace.
Thank God.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to us this morning.
It's a pleasure.
All right, so welcome to Mpɔtam Morning Show, Papalo Radio. Honorable, can you tell us a brief history about the NDC? I have done my portion. Can you do yours? Yes.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. And let me use this opportunity to also say a very good morning to all your listeners.
That's right.
The NDC was officially formed in 92.
That's right.
June. And then its founder, as we all know, is the former late President Jerry John Rawlings.
That's right.
And then it has some other founding fathers, or in other words, let me say some pillars who supported him. The likes of the late Kojo Chikata. We have the PV Obins, the what was the name? Totobi Kwachis.
That's right.
The Ahoys. If I the Hood, Alaji Hudu Yaya, the Alaji Mahama.
That's right.
Not the Alaji Mahama, that's the Council of Elders, Chairman for Council of Elders.
That's right.
So all these pioneers were behind him. That gave him that support in order for the party to be formed in 92. Ever since then, the end of his tenure as the former president of Jerry John Rawlings, we had the late Professor Mills, who have succeeded him. After the late Professor Mills, we had the current former president, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And so far, so good. As we speak, we are about to go for our Congress, which is the internal primaries, presidential primaries.
That's right.
Stroke the parliamentary primaries.
That's right.
And this is the first time we are running the two concurrently.
I was about to ask it.
Yeah, this is the first time such a thing is happening.
Okay.
Because if you look at the previous ones, all the previous ones, what normally happens is either we do the presidential first,
and then later you do the parliamentary. That's right.
But this time around, we just joined the two together. And it's taking on the same day, which is 13th, Saturday, 13th May 2023, which is this coming Saturday rather.
That's right. That's right.
So far, I'm aware out of the 275 constituencies, it is only 15 constituencies that have been put on hold by the party.
Honorable, can you tell us why?
Because there seems to be some challenges.
Is it legal tussles?
No, not at all.
All right.
Not at all.
All right.
It has to do with the preparation and stuff.
Okay.
So once the preparation, they've not been able to meet the preparation. The party's constitution says once you have 1/3 of the constituencies ready, you can run the elections.
All right.
And if you strike out the percentage and you take out the 15 constituencies out, you still will have the more than 1/3 of the constituencies out of the 275 that are ready for the Saturday primaries. So based on that, those 15 have been put on hold, and then the remaining 260 will take place. They will be running the election this coming Saturday 13th.
Okay.
As we speak, Medina, for instance, every preparation has been put in place.
Okay.
We have secured our venue, which will be the Social Welfare Vocational Training School Center, Social Welfare Medina. And then we have notified the Ghana Police, and they are also ready.
I was about talking about security.
Wow.
Security preparations.
Sure. We have notified them. They are also going to be ready, and they in fact, they've responded to our notice, and they are ready. Almost every now and then that we are about having our internal elections is the same Ghana Police Service Medina districts that we fall on, and this time too is no exception. And they are ready to come and provide the security. We have as well notified the Electoral Commission district officer, Madam Lillian, and she and her team are also they prepared adequately, and they've asked for certain things that they might need in running or conducting the elections. And we are also ready to get to them all the things that they've asked that they will need for the running of or conducting of the elections. And apart from that, the venue itself, we've been able to secure the venue with the authorities over there.
Okay.
And they have also released the venue to us. So far so good. The delegates, Medina, for instance, Medina is one of the is the third biggest constituency or highest population in terms of voter population in the whole Greater Accra. If you take Ashaman, which is one, second Domeko Abenya, third is Medina constituency.
That's
and
right.
when you profile it in terms of the 275 constituency, that's the whole Ghana. Medina is the 5th largest, highest population in terms of voter population.
That's amazing.
Yes. And as we speak, we have 307 polling stations that makes up the Medina constituency. 307.
307. Wow.
Yes. So if you are to even
polling stations, 307.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Polling station. Yes.
That's a packed constituency.
In our part of the party, we will call them, with the 307 polling station, we call them branches.
Branches, okay.
And to each branch, we have 9 people who makes up each branch in terms of the executives that are manning or managing that particular polling station or branch.
Okay.
We have 9.
Wow.
So when it times 9 by the 307, you will end up with you end up getting 2,763 branch executives.
That's a lot.
Words, delegates. It's very huge number.
That's a
Even
lot.
the Electoral Commission is complaining that we should add additional polling stations instead of the 2 polling stations that we are creating.
That's right.
In order to facilitate the smoothness and the fastness of the process. And quite apart from that, we have the 28 constituency executives. We have 2 former government appointees, which is made up of the former MP for Medina, Honorable Alhaji Amadu Sorogo, and then the former Municipal Chief Executive Officer of the Lang Kwantana Medina Municipal Assembly, in the person of Honorable Franklin Anku. And then we have the sitting MP himself, Honorable Francis Xavier Lawyer Susu. So when you add these 3 to the 28 constituency executives, you will end up getting, that's 31 additional delegates. Plus the 2,763 branch executives or delegates. So it will shoot up to, I think, 2,794 thereabouts delegates who are going to participate directly by voting. So all this is in place. It has been secured. And one is interesting thing is, Medina constituency, even in Greater Accra, there are some constituencies that you can put together. You can put about 2 or 3 constituencies in Greater Accra that will make up Medina constituency.
That's true.
When you take the northern parts, or even the central region, or even the voter region, or the Savannah areas, you can put about 4 constituencies together. That will make up Medina constituency.
Wow.
Actually, Medina constituency is very huge. Very, very huge. Very, very huge.
Okay.
But we are able to manage it, and we are still looking at in future where Medina will get its fair share of the cake in terms of development. Just about the elections. I think all the former president toured during his tour in Greater Accra. He was in Medina, and then he spoke with the good people of Medina. And for me, the other contenders, that's Honorable Dr. Dufo was
That's
also
right.
in Medina.
Okay.
And then he also delivered his message. If you look at the good people of Medina, they listened to the 2 messages.
That's right.
Far, those are the 2 candidates that has toured and visited Medina constituency and
Okay.
had interaction with the delegates.
That's right.
And if I assess my fair own assessment, if you look at the 2 messages, the good people of Medina took it in good faith. They listened to them, they asked questions, and they got the responses that they want. But with the last couple of days, initially when Dr. Dufo came first, more of the delegates were in favor of him.
Okay.
More of the delegates were for, but not as to striking in terms of he will win.
That's
the
right.
tie. But President Mama will still have won, even if he doesn't come here.
That's right.
But until he came, that was where the dynamics changed.
Okay.
And now, if you look at the assessment as of yesterday, when we're having interaction with yesterday, interestingly, all the 307 branches or polling stations concurrently had a meeting.
That's amazing.
All of
Looking
them
at the
yesterday.
huge numbers.
Exactly. So we had the 28 constituency executives plus the sitting MP, the former MP, the former MCE, and then we brought on board former constituency executives and some, let me say, stakeholders of the party. And we divided ourselves, or we shared ourselves into zones, where we zone all the 307 branches or polling stations into 29 zones, where we had concurrently or simultaneously we had meetings with them. And from the response that we are given, because the meeting where we had with them was to let them know the preparation that have been put in place ahead of time in terms of transportation, because the constituency is in a kind of geographical form that some of the delegates will need to be transported to the venue.
That's right.
So we have to meet them.
Honorable, is it right for you to transport your delegate to the premises? Because people always read meanings to things, that when this is done, there's that mindset or perception about corruption, or a delegate being paid money by their reps and all that. Don't you think it's a grounds for those illegalities?
When it comes to internal voting,
that's right,
it's very, very necessary to transport the delegates to the center.
Okay. Under whose expenditure?
I'm going to give you the breakdown.
No problem.
Especially when it has to do with that of the presidential and even the parliamentary.
Okay.
Even when it comes to electing constituency executives, like my very good self, I have my own means, because there are some delegates where they are coming from is very far.
Okay.
To the venue where the voting is taking place. So some will end up calling me, Honorable, we don't have transportation, so if you can assist us or you can do something for us.
Okay.
That is where I will end up finding some cars. Even at times, I will end up giving out money to those delegates.
Okay.
So that it can support them, because the party will not give you money to transport yourself to the center.
Okay.
So those of us contesting as constituency executives, you want the votes. You must find a means and ways of getting the delegates to come on that day to come and vote.
That's amazing. And
the delegates feel that voting is not compulsory or binding on them, even though it's part of their responsibility as branch executives to come out and vote. As well, when it has to do with the internal election. So I will end up finding some means and ways of getting money to them that they will use or spend as a transportation.
Okay.
Or in other words, if I look at their numbers, how voluminous the number is, I'll just find a transport or a car a bus and then give it to them.
So
take them to the voting center and go back.
All right.
But
So
when you come to the presidential, as we speak now, we have a sitting MP.
Okay.
Who is in the person of Honorable Lawyer Francis Xavier Susu.
That's right.
In collaboration with their constituency executives, we have teamed up together with him. But he is solely financing it with, let me say, about 100%, let me say about 90% of the funds that are coming in. He is bringing it.
That's generous.
Yes, we rent the buses and then we hand over the buses to the coordinators. We have what we call the coordinators, individuals who are coordinating. For instance, if you take one particular electoral area, in our own party, we call them the electoral area.
Okay.
We call them wards or ward. So if you take, for instance, the Oyarifa ward, Oyarifa is far to where the voting center will be, the voting will be taking place. So we will give the bus details, the driver's contact, and everything to the coordinator for that Oyarifa.
Okay.
As a branch, if you have any challenges, you first of all have to fall on your coordinator. When the coordinator feels or thinks that that particular challenge that has brought before him is way above him or bigger than him, that is where he first call or notify the constituency. Then we will come in.
Okay.
So he will be coordinating the bus. He will have to have a meeting. After yesterday's meeting, we have agreed by Tuesday, all these bus arrangement and everything will be sent to them. And then he will now call for emergency meeting of his branch executives over there in that particular electoral area or ward. And he will discuss with them the modalities, because even within that ward, they are all not centralized. They are scattered. So if you position them, maybe group A, you are made up of about 5 or 10 polling stations.
Okay.
Station here, the car will come for you. Group B, you are made up of this area, you are made up of about 5 or 7 or 10 polling stations. You to station here. In that particular area, they have 26 polling stations or 26 branches that made up that ward. So you know you can divide them or group them into 3 groups.
Okay.
And then you coordinate the bus as to how it will convey them to and fro from the election center.
Okay.
So, but when it comes to that of the parliamentary, for instance, it's the same like that of the constituency. The individual parliamentary candidates would have to fund the transportation of delegates to the center. Because when you take the general elections itself, the people don't need to be transported, because the polling station is just around their community or within their area. So that one is just more or less a walking distance to go and cast your vote. But internal elections like this, we normally centralize it at one particular center.
Okay.
So it therefore means certain people who are far away from that particular center would need to be transported to the center.
Okay.
So this is where transportation issue comes in.
Okay.
Where the MP, the sitting MP, would kind of come in. But when you take in the case, somebody will also ask, what happens to the orphan constituencies where, for instance, the NDC doesn't have any parliamentary sitting MP in that constituency?
Exactly.
So let me give you a classical example. You take a place like Amasama, or let's say even Domi Kwabena.
That's right.
Domi Kwabena, we don't have any NDC sitting MP there.
That's right.
In this case, Domi Kwabena, Madina, for instance, we are not going to have any parliamentary primaries because our MP is going unopposed.
Okay. He's really done well, Francis Osu.
Yes,
Honorable Francis Osu.
The person trying to contest him, when we went to the vetting committee detected or find out that that person only joined the party officially, got registered only in 2022 June.
No, you can't.
So when you calculate then to now, it's just about 11 months or 11 months old in the party.
Okay.
Whereas the party's constitution says you must be at least 4 years in the party.
4 years in the party, yeah.
Apart from
That's
that,
good.
he is also a card-bearing member of the United Front Party, that's UFP.
Amazing.
Dr. Ejenim Boatin's party.
So he's been flippant from one place to another.
Yes,
and you cannot be trusted. We can't give you such a
as we
sensitive seat.
Currently, he's still a registered member of that UFP party, of which he has not even denounced its membership. And not just that, he was the general secretary of the UFP in the last 2020 elections.
That's uncalled for.
So you can see he's a heavyweight person, because
That's
general
right.
election, they're the whole Ghana. It's not like a constituency.
Yeah.
Of which he first of all would have need to resign. Apart from resigning, he must denounce his membership.
Exactly.
And even that, if you calculate 2020, if he does that or he takes that action, and he joins the NDC, he will still would have not met the 4 years requirement.
That's true.
The party's constitution. So based on that, the vetting committee disqualified him. So Honorable Susu is going unopposed. And he doubles as a sitting MP. So he needs to do his best in terms of this, supporting the party, transporting delegates, feeding, giving them water, providing them drinks, all this thing he must come from his end. And apart from that, the payment of the Electoral Commission in terms of their services, that one will be done by the party's national leadership. They would handle that one. But in terms of the feeding, in terms of breakfast and lunch of the Electoral Commission, the sitting MP will cater for that. In terms of feeding the police service who will be coming on duty, he will take up that kind of expenses. And then the venue that we are using, the token that we have to pay to the authorities, he has also as well covered that. But like I was saying, when you take Dominic Abenya, we do not have a sitting MP there. In terms
so it's an orphan constituency.
It's an orphan constituency. So somebody will ask, or your listener who are listening to us now might ask, so what happens to them?
Exactly.
So in that case, the central party, which is the national, through the regions, will provide them with some amount of money, which might not be sufficient, because we equally have other orphan constituencies just like the Abenya.
That's right.
If they are to strike in terms of getting the entire money or budget that they will need to run those services or those events, they cannot meet it. So what will happen is they will give them some token, some amount of money, and then that place, I think they have
that money will be given by the party. Is it from the national or the constituency?
It's from the national.
Okay.
It will be from the national.
Okay.
So they will give them, but that alone might not be enough.
That's right.
But as we speak, we have 2 parliamentary aspirants of the party who are contesting. So that place, they will be running the presidential as well as that of the parliamentary. So in this case, these 2 parliamentary aspirants, it's incumbent on them to be able to transport the various delegates to the voting center.
Yes, Honorable, I get you.
A
minute. Let me chip in something here. With all this, we are transporting delegates from one location to the main event and all that. I don't think it's a grounds for people to, pay their way to win the seat or the candidature.
Honestly speaking, this is what we call a game of chance.
Okay. I like that.
Why am I saying game of chance? When I was contesting as a constituency secretary, and honestly speaking, this is my 3rd term in office.
Wow,
so
congratulations.
In all, I'm spending almost 12 years in office now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. When I was contesting, there were some individuals that called on me that they don't have TNT to the voting center. And they would love to come and vote for me. I went all out, mobilized funds, and assisted them in terms of transportation to be able to come there and come and vote. You get it?
Yes, sir.
And I knew very well that my contenders were also doing their bit.
That's right.
To be able to support people to come and to transport.
Definitely. I know.
But if I say I won't help, it means that I'm going to lose that vote in the first place.
Okay.
Secondly, game of chance, because there were some people I knew very well that they know very well that I also know that they know that I transported them to the center, but they ended up coming there to vote against me.
Okay. That's interesting. Politics.
That is a game of chance.
I'm telling you.
So,
he knows he will eat your food, he will take your money, he will take your drink and everything, but still go ahead and vote against.
That is delegate for you.
That's
and
right.
That is where the late Sir John
Say
said,
yes, fear delegate
fear ghost.
than ghost, yeah.
Because the ghost will not harm him. He will not do it. But delegate can easily
I'm telling
harm
you. That's right. That's
So,
right.
If you, as a parliamentary candidate, you want to win and become the parliamentary candidate, or the parliamentary candidate for that particular constituency, let's say i.e. Dominic Abenya. And Dominic Abenya, let's say you are doing your voting at the Gaika Center, or in other words, let me say the Dominic Abenya police station. That's where the center is. And you have people living, delegates staying at Abokobi.
Okay.
And Taifa. And if you know Dominic Abenya very well, the names I'm mentioning and the place that I've mentioned as the voting center, you know the miles away that one
very
needs to
far.
check before coming to vote. So
Very
it
far.
behoves on you, the parliamentary aspirants, to be able to find a means and ways of transporting those people to come. Because once,
So that is from your own pocket. It means that if you are not ready, don't even venture.
Exactly. That is what some of our predecessors or our leaders have now made politics to be.
That's right.
Now politics is all about money.
That's right.
But
I like your honesty.
I would say Ghana, we need to take a second look at our political funding.
That's right. That's right. I like that.
It will become a huge problem for us one day.
So we'll rather be voting against the competent ones, and then we'll bring in incompetent ones. That's right.
And Apostle, honestly speaking, we will end up getting drug barons taking a position.
The reins of governance.
They will use money and take a position, and they will come. They don't have the competency in terms of developing the country or the nation or the influence, but rather they will use that opportunity or that position to be advancing their drug business or drug business.
Yeah, you got that right.
Some of the things that NCC and the governments and stakeholders ought to come together and be able to kind of find. I think recently the former president John Dramani Mahama launched political funding.
That's right.
Even I think a program where there were stakeholders. He discussed with them. People.
That's right.
Suggesting. I think that thing must be a national approach thing.
It must be a national discourse.
Yes,
I mean,
it must
we
be
have
a national discourse, so that all political parties can come together and let's see how best we can fine tune it.
That's right.
And get it going. While we speak, he has launched an online donation that people are donating to support to fund his campaign.
That's right.
And
that's right.
I am aware some people who have donated huge sums of money to that portal in terms of the star something.
That's right.
So in the case of the Dominic Abenya, for instance, there are two aspirants who are struggling to become the party's rep in terms of parliamentary candidates for the party in Dominic Abenya. Will have to do extra more. That is by being able
to transport the people, get the
as
people
many as they can to the center. And one thing about delegates too is that the person will go like, if me, Semetuana, na asumesi mama me lorry fare na metima abadia, and they will say me betomano.
That's right.
Unless
Because
the person ordinarily doesn't like you,
that's
or
right.
doesn't support your candidate.
That's right.
That is
That's
when
right.
maybe you give him the money, he will come all right, but he will still vote against you.
That's right.
Some will come all right. They will
So
not
if
vote
I
for
get you,
give them the money, but they will also not vote for the other person. They will only come and vote for the person.
that's right. So if I get you, once you're able to transport them, the possibility that majority of them will vote for you is very high.
Yes. Because if I'm to come to vote, I don't have the means of transport in terms of money.
And you are not willing to help.
Yes.
Then I can't vote for you. I can't trust you.
I have someone who comes in and say, oh, I know you are finding it difficult to transport yourself on the DD. So this is a car available for you. Or this is money for you.
That's
Use
right.
it to pick a car and come. He won't tell you that come and vote for me. He will
Exactly.
just say, this is the money. Pick a car and come and vote.
That's
you
true.
made my movement to that place or my assessment to that place very easier. So why won't I come there that day and come and vote for you?
That's
when
right.
in fact you transported me to the place. So
You are
this
right.
is also another way where whether you are competent or not, once you are able to transport me, I will just end up voting for you.
Wow.
This is more reason why that we must make that political funding a national discourse.
Yeah, and then even
Irrespective of
add it
whichever
to
government is in.
yes, I think even add it to our constitution that you cannot just be funding some of these things, or your source of funding must be investigated thoroughly before we give you the chance to even vie for any position. I think I agree with you. We are on the same wavelength. All right, we have a lot to discuss, but because of time, let's go straight into the candidature of former President John Dramani Mahama. Today, I'm profiling him. Tomorrow, I'll profile Honorable Kojo Bonsu. And then on Wednesday, I'll profile Dr. Dufour. And then we see the chances of these men. What can you say briefly about former President John Dramani Mahama?
Thank you, Apostle. Former President Mahama, as I know him,
Mm-hmm.
who once upon a time has been an assemblyman.
That's right.
He rise through the occasion and became an MP.
Mm.
He became a deputy minister. He was promoted and became a substantive minister.
Mm.
He became a vice president.
Mm.
And then he became an acting president.
Mm-hmm.
And he then moved to become the elected president himself. And
He has
now
a
he's the former
rich, I
president.
think globally, I'm sure he has the richest political curriculum vitae. I'm telling you.
As we speak, I've never come across anybody,
Mhm.
the whole world.
Mhm.
I've never come across somebody with such kind of
Mm.
background.
Very
So when you
rich.
profile President Mahama internally with the two that they are contesting together, I would say he stands tall.
Okay.
Why am I saying so?
Tell us.
When you profile President Mahama and then you profile the current crop of opponents from the
Contenders.
MPP's fold,
Mm.
from the MPP's fold,
Okay.
who are equally contesting or vying to become the flag bearers of their party.
Mm.
When all the two. But I must add, I'm very, very, very free and very, very close with Dr. Dufo.
Okay.
For Onam Kojo Bonso, I've never even had any encounter with him.
Okay.
Not even face to face, no.
Okay.
But Dr. Dufo is somebody I've had a lot of encounter with him.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of pictures with him.
Mm-hmm.
And not just the pictures. We had a cheat to chat affair.
Mm.
And you could see the man has some sort of foresight.
Mm.
And not just foresight, from his impeccable record that he had when he was the governor of Bank of Ghana, and then rise to became the finance minister.
I remember single digit inflation.
Yes, and a single digit inflation. And apart from that, Ghana had some kind of credit facilities from the IMF and the international investment community and other things. All has to do with the prudent measures that he put in place as a finance minister, and then will be when he was the governor of Bank of Ghana.
That's right.
So I'm very that close. My background is an accounting. I have an accounting background.
That's right.
So I get closer to him at the Institute of Fiscal Analysis and things at that institute.
That's right.
And we had a deep conversation and a very honest conversation. And you could see the man is well endowed and rich with finance background.
That's right.
But we are talking about President Mahama. This is a man who has passed through the ranks and arose through the occasion and become the president and currently former president.
So it's not about experiment, but experience.
Yes, he stands tall when you talk of the experience. Both MPP and DC.
Okay.
And the current state of our economy, Apostle, the current state of our economy, the only person that for me, without any shred of doubt, without any malice, without any disrespect to any of the contenders in terms of MPP and DC, the only person who stands tall and that can change or turn the situation of this country in terms of the economy around within a space of a year or two is President Mahama. He stands tall. President Mahama stands tall because he has that rich experience. And we should all remember he has been there before. And he has the links. In terms of the links that I'm talking about is external links with the international business community. And if you recall, it was Madame Lagarde, the former, I think, IMF or the World Bank boss.
World Bank, yeah.
World Bank boss, who looked into the eyes of President Mahama and told him that, Mr. President, you are too honest. I have had a lot of encounter with other international leaders, and I've not come across an African leader who is so honest like you are. But I know it will cost you. And truly to her words, after that interview somewhere early in 2016, by the December 2016 elections, President Mahama lost the elections.
That's right. I know
the woman predicted.
I know that in business ethics, I know that in business ethics we have four major pillars of business ethics. That is honesty, integrity, respect, and then ethics. So I think based on what you are saying, it's ethically right. Yeah.
Yes. So if you look profile all this, and you look at the situation we find ourselves as a country today. Apostle, do you know the current Galamsey Kinda is happening and destroying our river body? It's affecting our economy largely.
Yes, I know.
And I just posted something on my status by saying that it's no longer funny. With this Galamsey thing, it's no longer funny.
Yes, it is. It's not funny because, again.
Apostle, we might find ourselves downstream here in Greater Accra.
Yeah, it has become
and
deadly.
The water that we consume, we might see it as a clean water. It's not clean. They are polluted. And it's no longer a funny thing.
All right, so Honorable, a quick one. With all this rich experience or experiential knowledge former President John Mahama has, why was he voted out of power? One may ask. Because he was doing well until what? Why did Ghanaians voted against him in 2016 and 2020 elections?
2016, the then MPP party, if I say party, I mean the leadership and the campaign that they launched. Apostle, you and I, we are in Ghana here. We know the very promises that the MPP made. And human beings as we are all just like Oliver Twist. You will give us, but we still need more. President Mahama was doing well. There's no doubt about that.
That's right.
And so far, there has never been any government apart from Nkrumah who can compare himself, or any president who can compare himself to President Mahama in terms of infrastructure development. And when we talk of when you talk of your economy growing, it largely depends on how huge your infrastructure development is.
That's right.
And until then, that 2016, President Mahama was in almost all the sectors of the economy and he was doing well. But the largely population or the campaign that the MPP launched, where they were promising heaven and earth, and then $1 million, $1 consumption. And
I remember.
You see, they spoke big. They said big things. And today, you and I, we are witnesses to all the things that
that particular tag on President Mahama, incompetent Mahama.
And the truth of it is a lie. Let's say lies. When you continue to it finally becomes a truth. So at the point in time,
Honorable, your line is breaking. Can you position yourself well?
Is it okay now?
Please come again. Let me see.
Is it okay now?
I think so. Let's see. Please go ahead.
Okay. So they constantly peddle that lies or that force on the person of His Excellency John Dramani.
So what was the communication team doing at the time? Because you need to counter some of these things at the time. But there was no counterattacks. I mean,
I always say, as a sitting government, you don't need to wait for the opponent to attack you.
Okay.
No. Our communication team then were rather responding to the attacks when they were supposed to have focused on selling or trumpeting the good works of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. When they were supposed to sing the good works of His Excellency.
Honorable, your line is too bad. If you can
position myself again, if it's okay, then you let me know.
It's okay now.
Is it better now?
It's better now.
It's better now.
Yes, please. Go ahead.
They ended up spending all their time in responding to attacks.
Okay.
Rather than on marketing and advertising the good works that His Excellency President Mahama has done by them. Which was wrong on the part of the communication team. So, largely, the tag of the incompetence.
Honorable, your network, if you can position yourself and for us, we will be very glad.
Is it better now?
No, please.
Is it better?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. So
yes.
Largely, the peddling of the incompetence tag resonate in the ears of
Ghanaians. And it affected the fortunes of your party.
Yes. So largely Ghanaians became like, this man, they say is incompetent. And you see, it coincided with only one major aspect, which is the doomsaw. But apart from the doomsaw, all other sectors of the economy. And President Mama did not come to create the doomsaw. He came to meet it. And by our research, it says that
Honorable, your network, I think we'll call you back. Thank you. All right. So that was Honorable Razak Abdul Hussein. He's the secretary of Medina constituency, the NDC. We'll try and reconnect with him and finish up with him. All right, so we'll go for a break and we'll be right back.
Classic Malcolm X when I express by any means, yes, many mountains to climb, I guess. So how can we ever rest? I must say, if Ghana should be beyond AIDS, then solutions no fit be band-aid. I don't care if the West is against us, forget